I don't know what's harder, cold calling a contractor and trying to build rapport versus, hey, I'm an investor. I feel like the biggest hurdle for some people is validity. And if you can prove yourself faster, everyone takes you more seriously. So I just went up and said, hey, are you guys the project managers, the owners of the construction company? I asked him if he works with investors. And then I said, what would you need for us to get like a rough scope of work and bid? And he goes, oh, we need eyes on the property. And I said, oh, I'm actually walking it in 5 minutes with the agent. Would you open to walking with us then?
And he said,
sure, just text me when you're ready.
And that is how you get things done.
Okay, so if you remember from our first episode of finding our first Bay Area flip, you'll see that after I texted 900 agents, we were writing an offer on the property, and here's what happened. Well, spoiler alert, we actually did not win the offer, so I'm back on the market hunting. Now, with today's competitive market in the Bay Area, it seems like most people have to shoot 10, 20 offers to even get one flip accepted, especially if it's on market. If you're off market and you're working with a wholesaler or direct to sell, you probably have better odds. This one, although it was off market for whatever reason, we did not win. We did not win the listing, so here we are back hunting. Now, in this episode, I'm actually going to focus on a missing piece that I want to clarify for myself. So we've done full rehab projects and all of that, but I have never done a full rehab in the Bay Area. So that is the missing gap of information for me, is how much does it actually cost to do a rehab in San Jose, and how do you find contractors? By the way, make sure to stay to the very end of the video because I will leave my favorite questions that I like to ask contractors when I cold call them about a project. So I'm going to break down that today in this next episode. So there's a couple ways that you can go about it. Obviously, referrals is the way to go. You can look it up on Google or Home Advisor, Yelp, wherever it is. Just find a list of contractors. But, and I've never done this before until today, the best is to drive around your neighborhood and find other general contractors who are actually renovating on projects. So here's exactly what we did. We got a pocket listing that was texted to us from an agent, and we scheduled a tour to walk. So I drove in a little bit early because I wanted to drive the neighborhood. And then on that same street, like literally 6 houses down, was a tear down new construction build of one of the houses, and with a big sign with a general contractor out there. So I asked my wife, hey, we should go talk to them, especially if we are going to do a flip project here. So we're looking for contractors, and then actually this person's doing a complete tear down, and it's a general contractor who is a new builder, and so I want to call them to also get a ballpark because they're doing something on the same house. They're literally a block away, so I think they would appreciate a job that's 1 block away from what their crew is doing now, and that's something that we can mention on the call.
Oh, you're so smart. Wow, it is a tear down.
It's a tear down, and then it's right across the street. It's like right down the block from this house. So I went down and I talked to them and I tried to build rapport. I asked them about what the project they're doing. I said that we are an out-of-state investor who are looking to do our first flips in San Jose, and if they work with flippers, if they done hard money. And then at that point, I started to ask them about their current project, about how much that rehab cost, what their plans were, why they were doing all that stuff, trying to just build rapport.
Hold on, pause, back up. What just happened? We're driving around the neighborhood because we're about to go check out this house for a potential flip.
Yeah.
Then we saw a couple, like a block down, there is a group of contractors doing clearly a tear down over there around the corner. And you just went up to them and started talking to them, and you've never met them before.
Well, we need a contractor in the area, and if they're doing something on the block, then I think it'd be advantageous for all of us to have him on a huge new construction project. And so I just went up and said, hey, are you guys the project managers, the owners of the construction company? And he said, yeah. And I said, there's a house on the street, we're thinking about putting an offer on it, and I have no idea what the construction costs are, and I just went over the spiel. Now, some quick fillers here. I did get videos and pictures from our buyer agent beforehand, so I knew exactly what we're walking to, which is basically you have to redo everything. You can't save anything. It needs a new roof, it needs new drywall, it needs new paint, new floors, all new kitchen, all new bats. Everything had to go, which was easy to tell him that just point around and you're gonna have to fix it. This is sorry, your name again?
Javier. How's it going?
Hi.
Nice to meet you guys. Likewise.
She said that she was turning a few buyers in the neighborhood. There's a whole bunch of foundation stuff. You guys are obviously doing a new build because of foundation stuff. Everything has to go. Everything, from top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Do you guys have any plans, builds, or anything?
They have some comp pictures.
All new floor,
All new floors, yeah, laminate, all the whole thing.
fans, shower.
We need a roof. Lots of drywall, all new bathrooms for everything. Vanities, bath.
How many rooms?
5 bedroom, 3 bath?
Is it 5'3"?
Okay.
4'3"?
There's 5, 4.
You guys don't want to reconfigure any of the existing floor plan or?
No, I don't know how much of this side anything.
New crown molding, new cabinets, tops.
Yeah.
Have a center island here. There's multiple ways to do it. It just depends on like the overall timing and budget that you guys are looking for. But yeah, the houses of this size we will work with them. What's your guys' timeline looking like?
You got to direct your questions to him. I'm just here.
My timeline is as fast as possible. If you're the hard money, every month you're hard money, it's 10, 15 grand.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, no, we could put a proposal together, a budget based on what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll keep it on straight concept renovation, working with what you have.
Okay.
And then we'll probably put a budget together and see if you want to upsize any sort of floor plan adjustments.
Okay.
And the ball rolling on.
And then from there, the last piece of the conversation was me trying to figure out exactly how much it could cost.
For your crew, what's the usual timeline there?
So we're talking about like 250 square feet.
Yeah, still 50 for that one.
Yeah, 200 to 300 square feet. Something like this around
125?
Yeah.
Okay.
So somewhere around there. We could.
Did they have finishes?
Yeah. Hey, let me put numbers together.
Now, he told me that his new construction project was about $250 a square foot for a 2,500 square foot project, which then cost $600,000. I tried to then piece out how much we could potentially pay. Is it 120 square foot? Is it 100? Is it 150? And then also the timeline. That way I can go back to my numbers and figure it out. So what's gonna happen next? I have to send him some samples of what levels of finishes we want, maybe a couple different ranges. He's also gonna come back and refine that scope of work so that way we have that and I can run that into my numbers before we make an offer on the property on Wednesday. There's a couple things that I really liked about the situation. One, the big missing gap for me was how much does it actually cost to renovate a home in San Jose? Because we have not done it yet, I didn't want to just trust other people's word, but I need to see a bid, ideally, and I will get multiple bids for myself just for my own peace of mind. Now, it was just, I wouldn't say happen chance, but if you see an opportunity to help ease that, and in this case, it was literally 6 houses down, another general contractor who was doing a job, stop and go talk to them. Like 100% stop and go talk to them. If I didn't see that contractor, what would happen is that I'd have to walk the property, I'd have to figure out a rough scope of work, and then cold call 20 contractors and try and piece out verbally what my scope of work is, and if either they can ballpark it over the phone with some pictures and videos, or reschedule a showing with the agent to get inside there, which is way more of a hassle. This was the best case scenario ever. Another added value point to this was walking in with a contractor gives you more confidence because now you get to expedite this process of getting a real bid based off of the house that you're looking at. But if you're working with a buyer agent or direct to seller, that also makes you look more legitimate because not only are you not just walking this, like you're walking this armed and ready to go, which makes you more legitimate to everybody and even to my own numbers. So I need it for myself.
Oh, all right. We just walked a property with your new friend that you just met literally off the street, which is very impressive. What did you think?
I wish I had a 6-pack Modelo to go. No, it's good. The goal of this exercise really was a data point. I needed a tangible project to send to general contractors to then get bids, and then that way we can better hone our numbers as we run. The likelihood of you winning an offer today is like slim to none. There's probably be 20 or 30 offers on this property, and I don't expect to win, but my goal for this, if we win, it's amazing, but my goal for this is, could we get an ideal, like actual multiple bids so that as we run more numbers and analyze more deals, I want to write more offers. Because if you, like, even experienced flippers now, from what I hear, are only getting maybe 1 out of every 10 offers accepted, like in the Bay Area. And so far we've formally written on 1 property, which means we have to write on 9 more properties before we even get a deal done. But I want to be able to more confidently say. What surprised me though is his timeline.
He said 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
For a place like that, which it seems ambitious. He's the professional, but I think there could be a little bit of, what's that word? Make it seem like a little bit better than it actually is, because 2 to 3 months seems very quick. What do you think?
Not really, because we're not doing anything that is outrageous. A good crew should be able to do that level of rehab in 3 months. It'd be like a few weeks of planning and design, getting them started, and then another month to sell. So hopefully we're in and out. We will close by the end of May. Close in May, 3 months of construction, June, July. It would be awesome if it could be listed by sometime in August. And then we would still be able to hit some summer selling. My question is now, if we started to like we're running through the exercise. What was your confidence level? Like your honest confidence level before us walking the property, and what's your confidence level?
Like, I'm 100% confident that we can do it. Like, I know that you can do anything. But I guess my confidence and the things that I feel like I need to learn is even probably worse now.
Yeah, and then for me, it necessarily wasn't like, I know that we could always do it. The exact question is validating my thoughts, and that takes me from I can do it to we are getting this done. And I think this walk was very helpful to be like, cool, like the baseline things, we totally know what we need to do, and so now we'll just go get it done.
Yes. Okay, so real talk though, were you nervous at all when you approached these contractors on the street?
For a second, but honestly, like when you know that you need something, I don't know what's harder, cold calling a contractor and trying to build rapport versus, hey, I'm an investor, you're on a project that's right down the street, I'm walking a house right now. Like, I feel like the biggest hurdle for some people is validity. And if you can prove yourself faster, everyone takes you more seriously.
It's true.
So if we're on the phone and you're making the same call, like it's hard to prove that. Versus us now meeting him at the, like finding him on a project, talking to him, but then building rapport and then saying, I'm literally walking a property to flip in 10 minutes. Would you have time to join me? Takes you from being a potential tire kicker and waste of time to, okay, at least this guy's
He's doing something.
Yeah. And if you're in sales, which if you own a contracting company, no matter what you're in sales, you were selling a $200,000 job. So what is the level of service that you had to provide to win a $200,000 bid?
And lastly, I know that I found a contractor literally on the streets, but if I were gonna cold call them, I would ask them the exact same questions. And so here's how I would start that conversation. First, I would open up with some context. Luckily for us, we have some experience, so I would lead with that, right? That way they just know that you're not some average Joe. If you don't have experience, that's okay. Just skip that and just start talking about them. Of course, the first questions you ask is what type of work do you normally do? And these are all for general contractors. By the way, these questions are all for general contractors, meaning they're not individual subs or trades. I'm not calling plumbers, electricians, a fence guy. I'm calling the person who project manages all of it and will charge you a premium. So keep that in mind. So the first question, of course, is asking, do you have any investor clients or flip clients? Because I want to flip properties. And then of course, what areas do you work in? Do you take hard money, or have you worked with hard money and construction draws before? Because that is a very different payment cycle, which usually happens, which is a very different cycle. And I can make another video about that if you'd like. The next is, do you have capacity to start and take on a new project in the next 30 to 45 days? Especially if we can close this. We can close this in 2 weeks fast, no contingencies. And ideally, I want them to hit the ground running the next day after we close, because every single month will end up being $10,000 in financing costs. And then at this stage, I want to figure out some ballpark ranges, what you need from us as the investors so that you're able to ballpark some bids for us. What do you need in that scope of work? And then again, if we're on the phone, I would ask them, okay, at this stage, we're under contract, we're in best and finals, we have a final inspection or whatever it may be. What is the process for getting your team out there to go ahead and bid the jobs? Now, some people will bid for free, some people might pay for bids, and that's okay. Expect that, because bids do take a couple hours. You can't blame them for wanting to have their time to bid compensated. Totally get it, and I'm totally open to paying for that too. And then of course, it's, can you send me samples of work? When can you connect me with some past clients? Anyways, those are some of the initial questions. I will share the bid on this channel as soon as we get it, and I'll break it down. I'll break down those numbers. Also, 100% we will be submitting an offer on this property. Now, to be fair, I actually don't think that we'll get it. If we do in the off chance, amazing. But I'll break down the bid, I'll break down how that affects my numbers. So if you want to see how that all lays out, make sure to subscribe. Again, my name is Josh Baldovino. I am a marketer, I'm a real estate investor, and yes, we've done dozens of deals out of state, but nothing in state. It feels like we're Ricky, even though we're not. But I'm super stoked on this new project for us. Please follow along, please share this. If you have any comments, leave them down below. And if you want to see that first episode of us walking a property for the very first time, make sure to click here, and I'll see you in the video. Cheers, guys.